All right! Hello, everybody. Hello, Doris. Hello, S. Welcome back to Witch on the Holy Night. Last time we were treated to a gigantic spectacle as Alice Kwanji, who was fed up with Aoko's trying to break the taboo and save Soujirou, even for one night, so she says, from is basically harmless crime of just seeing them kill one monster. She has unleashed a rather huge spell summon called Flat Snark. And what it can do is bring fairy tales to life. And they just so happen to be in the middle of a abandoned amusement park. And so monsters come around everywhere, shaped like Nightmarish frickin' FNAF creatures. And they're running for their lives, trying to find the real body of Flat Snark to destroy. And Alice has promised them that if they actually do defeat this or survive the night, she'll back off. And as things seem hopeless as they're running away, it looks like Aoko has finally figured out what the true body of Flat Snark is. So, they've formulated a plan which we do not, we did, as the audience, did not see. And now it is time to get back into it. And so ended the intermission. The young cast members were handed their new lines. Whatever happened next, the Night of Witches had at long last entered its climax. If it's not the moon, then I'm gonna have to change the title of the stream. They split up. You're sure? She was filled with foreboding at the Robin's report. Apparently they had gone in opposite directions. The park's residents had set off after the boy witness, and it would take them mere minutes to capture him, so the bird said. Ooh, there it is. I knew it. What do you mean? Is it actually him they're following? Not Aoko in disguise. The robin flapped its wings, chirping away any doubt. It had seen them with its own two eyes. Aoko was heading for the plaza while the cocky brat was making a run for the roller coaster. Are you saying that Aoko abandoned him? It sounds a little too good to be true. Is Dumpty still on his tail? The robin nodded enthusiastically. It didn't know about the other birds, but with its superior night vision, it had seen that sucker clearly because he had moved to a high point. And Dumpty? He said to let him sing to the very end, that he may never get the chance again to do so for a fool this asinine. Scratch Dumpty was a ticking time bomb that would drop and detonate the moment its target averted its gaze. That is, as long as his target continued to observe him. In a way, he was a gentlemanly ploy kickshaw, though Alice wished he would forgo such niceties when in battle. I see. So, he's gonna do something anyway, even just by time. Let him have his fun. Keeping an eye on Dumpty won't save the boy anyway. Once the poem on his surface is complete, the door will open. No matter how far he runs, Dumpty will end him for us. Until the park, or rather the Snark, ha ha ha, was destroyed, Soujirou would not be able to escape. You saw Aoko in the stream. Which meant the larger concern was Aoko. Aoko had promised to protect the boy, which begged the question, where was she running to?
ここにいる限り、青子の動向はつかめない。
As long as we stay here, we can't track Aoko. Alice looked over the park, ignoring the robin's attempt to get her attention with its plumage. Hello, Surge, welcome to the stream. Flat Snark has nearly reached its full size. It was a different breed of beast compared to the other cheap ploys. To her, it was one of her 3 most irreplaceable and precious familiars.
そうね。任せたわスナーク。青子が諦めない以上、あなたも手は抜かないで。
Yes, she's all yours, Snark. Don't hold back until Aoko is brought to her knees. Alice remained where she was. With the same historical merit as the troll under the bridge and the poison-clawed reptile, Flat Snark was one of Alice's ultimate ploys. She was placing her trust in its reputation and ability.
でも忘れないで。これはゲームよ。
But don't forget, this is a game.
勝敗がついたのなら、私のところに帰ってきて。
When the contest is over, return to me. The drifting fog ignored its master's words. It was the one thing Alice had misread. Flat Snark was a king, even among other ploys, of terrible, vulgar antics. Death to the defeated, gruesome tragedy to the vanquished. It found no pleasure unless it brought about traumatic ruination of life and wealth. The fog billowed like wicked laughter. After all, only a king had the right to decide the fate of the vanquished, and the Snark's greed could not be contained. Thus, it hadn't even the slightest intent to play fair, despite its master's orders. Oh, dang. Over 100 feet high. One careful step at a time, the figure made its way gingerly up the track, which stretched to the heart of the amusement park. What are you doing, Soujirou? The fuck? He stayed his beating chest and the pounding of his breath. Even tiny movements were an obstacle to his progress. Amazingly, the one making this pale-faced advance higher and higher was Soujirou Suzuki. Far below, he saw that a horde of bread creatures had congregated by the roller coaster platform. As they bustled this way and that, their numbers continued to increase by the minute, seemingly cheering on Soujirou with raised arms as he made his ascent. Or rather, they jeered as if beckoning him to come down.
助かった。あれ、高いところは苦手なんだ。
Well, at least they don't like heights.
Of course, neither did Soujirou, but his current state was the lesser of 2 evils. The only thing that followed him now was the floating egg. After heaving a huge sigh, Soujirou bent forward a bit and climbed the track that inclined toward the heavens. 150 feet now. Is he going high enough to try to get the fake moon? Maybe. Huh. If this were a skyscraper, he would be on the 16th floor. Damn. A strong gust of wind ripped through his hair. Humans had an instinctual fear of heights. In particular, a place like this, which called forth visions of falling to one's death, would cause a person's knees to tremble against their will. It was an instinct that forewarned death, urging its master to return to the safety of the ground. It was a reasonable reaction. Climbing the roller coaster tracks went beyond funny stories and into the realm of fantasy. The strong winds and changing air pressure were a hindrance. His instincts screamed at him to stop, causing his limbs to go numb, his muscles to go limp, and his mind to race. Even if he had been tied to a lifeline, a mere 15 feet of climbing would have still caused his thoughts to freeze out of sheer terror. It would only get worse from here, exponentially so. Every foot forward increased the load on both his mind and body by another degree.
よし、頂上まであと少し。
I can do this. Just a little bit more to the top.
The burden on his mind notwithstanding, he carefully measured the toll on his body with every step. His legs, which carried him running this far, threatened to buckle the moment he let down his guard. This fatigue was likely why Aoko had stressed that Soujirou's role was more dangerous than hers.
待てよ。逆を言うと、疲れてなければなんとかなると思ってたんだよな、青崎は。
Wait. Would Elzaki have been so worried if I wasn't tired?
Soujirou laughed as he stared at the floating egg.
Hello, egg.
He reflected on the course of events that had led to this absurd situation. Not even 10 minutes ago, they had been engaged in conversation.
じゃあ次ね。正体が分かった以上、あとはどう壊すかを話し合いましょう。
Okay, since we know what form it's taken, we need to talk about how we're going to destroy it. Soujirou felt a shudder travel down his spine at Aoko's smug grin. In hindsight, Aoko had been more than happy at this point to make him do something absurd.
どう壊すかって、それなら。
How we're gonna destroy it? Can't you just...
Soujirou wondered aloud from what he'd seen. Aoko had enough firepower to tear clean through the fence. He had refrained from speculating about Flat Snark's true form, because he felt there was nothing they could do about it, even if they knew. But that had changed. For Aoko, the impossible was quite literally within her grasp.
そうでもないわ。私の目算だと、あと50メートル分、ギリギリで届かない。
Ha! Giving clues here. I think it's the moon. I think it is. Why wouldn't she be able to do it? Huh. Hello, Caviera. Welcome to the stream. I do wonder what she actually wants Soujirou to do. Unless Flat Snark's body is all, like, pretty weak. Like, maybe the body is actually weak and all he needs to do is just, like, punch it. Like, I don't know. Or maybe they're planning to use the egg against it. Like, somehow trick the egg into blowing up the moon. Or whatever it is. It won't be that easy. By my estimate, I wouldn't get within 150 feet of the thing. Despair filled Soujirou's eyes. Aoko lifted a hand to her long hair and, with a magically charged fingertip, clipped a clean tuft of it.
足りない分は努力と根性ってね。
But we can make up the difference with some elbow grease.
あなたはできるだけ高いところまで逃げて。頃合いを見て合図を出すから。そうしたらこれを空に放ってくれる？しずきくんの役目はそれだけでいいから。
Get to the highest place you can. When the time is right, I'll give you a sign. Just toss this into the air. That's all you need to do. But based on where Aoko pointed her gaze, she's not really mean to leave it up to Soujirou to pick the highest place he could find. Is the hair gonna act like a tracker or something? Like to keep her shot on target? Maybe that's what it seems like right now. She was staring conspicuously at one of the amusement park's two main attractions, the roller coaster.
つまり青崎とは別行動をとってあの怪物たちに追われながら高いところに逃げ込めと。
So, in other words, you're saying we split up. Then you want me to run away from the monsters chasing me and escape to somewhere high. Right?
そういうことほらあのうねうね動き出してるコースターのレールとかよくない？
Exactly. And hey, wouldn't you know it? The tracks of that winding roller coaster are perfect. There were two demons in this park. Her smile even made even Soujirou want to respond that it was far from perfect.
疑いたくはないんだが
Far be it from me to question your motives here, but...
本当はあの子とグルで俺を遠回しに殺そうとしてるんじゃないか。
You're not secretly working with that girl to kill me, are you?
あら私に殺されるのならいいんでしょ？
No, no. Wasn't it you who said it was okay if I was the one who killed you?
人の出現を悪用するのは良くないと思う。
It's not nice to twist other people's words.
Soujirou hung his head. This was not sane. If he did as she said, he would die from exhaustion before Kitsy even had a chance to eat him.
私だって鬼じゃないわ。ほらこっち向いて。
I'm not a monster. Hey, look at me.
おまじないかけてあげる。
I'll cast a charm on you.
うん
It was the lightest of touches. Close enough for their breath and skin to come into contact. Ooh.
あ
Oh,
Zaki, he finished with a hushed voice. For one of them, this was a rather mundane magecraft. For the other, it was a head-spinning intimate ambush. Damn.
軽く弱くうまく早く
The weight of the air, the tremble of one's breast.
チクタクチクタク急げや急げ
Light legs behind, while shadows pull ahead. Words that could not be produced by a normal larynx, carrying a particular weight to them, reverberated against his eardrums. If words were given colors, these would have been the color of her name, blue. Yeah, I noticed that her name is blue, but she wears red. Soujirou's exhausted body and burning blood gently cooled. Her fire is blue, at least.
飛ぶ泳ぐ駆け抜ける
A bird in the sky, a fish in the sea, you in the distance.
チクタクチクタク汽笛を鳴らせ
Stuffed doubt and anxiety in a sack. Begin the journey at dawn.
星はいつでも北の空どこまでもいつまでも
A shining star falls into your heart. In reality, it took but a few seconds, but the sudden contact it felt a little longer. Ooh.
よし暗示成功成功したはずここまで手応えがあったの初めてだし
Mesmerized successful, I think. That's the first time I've actually felt it take.
アリスの小言もたまには役に立つじゃない
I guess all those lectures from Alice paid off. A very merry Aoko stood aside a very confused Soujirou. After he asked what the heck had occurred, she responded.
簡単な暗示よ一時的に恐怖心を消しておいたから高いところに登っても平気なはず
Oh, that's cool. It's an elementary suggestion. I temporarily erased your sense of fear, so you should be able to climb up there no problem.
あの手の作業で一番足を引っ張るのは同様でしょ
The biggest thing standing in your way is your nerves, right?
恐怖も何も感じなければ地上何メートルだろうと平均台とそう変わらないってわけ。
If you don't feel fear, then no matter how you climb, it's no different than walking a balance beam. Funny faces. He seemed to get it. It actually all sounded like Greek to Soujirou, but he accepted it as an explanation for his strange actions.
Warm touch, good girl.
やっと着いた。
Finally, I made it.
He'd arrived at the summit of the track. From nearly 200 feet high, Soujirou had a bird's eye view of the entire amusement park. He was able to spot Aoko's figure right away. In the plaza not so far from here, she seemed to be occupied with something conspicuous. Her surroundings lay still. The breadmen were still busy trying to figure out how to reach Soujirou by trial and error from the roller coaster's entrance. They were over 300 feet away now.
汗をかくはずだ。こんなに移動したのか。
No wonder I'm drenched in sweat. Look how much ground I've covered.
The strong winter gales quickly dried the sweat on his brow, but he was drenched underneath his shirt. This much sweat was worth at least a half-mile run, not to mention all the scares he had experienced throughout the night.
But でもよかった。あとは合図を待つだけだ。
Okay. Now all I have to do is wait for the signal.
He felt a wave of relief, but not at the thought of Aoko destroying the Snark in this nightmarish park. He was simply happy that he could repay a bit of his debt from the House of Mirrors. Oh! A blue bullet rose from the plaza where Aoko was located.
合図だ。
That's the signal!
Soujirou stood up atop the tracks, pulled out the pouch he'd thrown in his pocket, and tossed it forward. Without any regard for his questionable footing, I was gonna say, he gave it a mighty overarm pitch. The small pouch drew a parabolic curve in Aoko's direction, quickly becoming untied in midair. Inside the bag was the lock of her hair and a small stone weight.
高いところから風に乗せてくれれば、あとは何とかするから。
Just throw it with the wind from somewhere high up, and I'll take it from there, Aoko had said. But it was Sojirou's effort that had set the plan in motion. The tuft of hair remained airborne, drifting as it watched over its owner. Sojirou's job was done. He remained concerned about the egg hovering over him, but there was nothing he could do about it. Soujirou breathed a sigh of relief and leaned forward to watch the rest of the plan unfold, but then... Did he run out of time?
Huh?
In the corner of his eye, he thought he spotted something familiar approaching Aoko. Uh-oh.
Route set.
Connecting to crest. Ah, she's charging up a big boom.
Direct. 1層、2層、予備に3層。
Ah, yep, she's charging a big ass booming shot. Direct current crests. First layer, second layer, third layer, reserved.
魔力提供。体現に固定。
Magical energy supply fixed to greater source.
循環よし。射角よし。術式安定。大まかよし。
Flow, check. Angle, check. Formula stability. Good enough. A pattern began to carve itself into the brick street. The casting of an unprecedented incantation with unprecedented range. Oh, it's a big old laser cannon. Let's go. keeping the rising tension contained within her chest. The fledgling maid snapped her fingers.
決めた。ツアープラン、スターマイン。
Done. Bullet configuration, convergent launch! She kneeled at the center of the formula and raised her head to the night sky. Not even a glimpse of the transmogrified fantasy land around her entered her vision now. Only one thing, one untouchable thing, was reflected in her blue eyes.
実はずっと気になっていたことが。
So, this has been on my mind for a while now.
This is how their conversation started a few minutes prior. Soujirou began with a simple statement of fact. In truth, it really was the simplest of discrepancies. The only difference between the reality of 1 hour ago and the illusion of the present was both infinitesimal and infinite.
雲があったから勘違いしたんだろうけど。
I thought maybe I didn't know what I was looking at because of the clouds.
It was hiding in plain sight. Too impossible to be real. Too outlandish to be here. In this amusement park where every paradigm had shifted, something was brazenly flaunting its normalcy.
今夜は新月なんだ。
Yes! Yes! I got it!
Tonight is supposed to be a new moon, Aozaki.
Yes!
思えば、初めっからその形だったものね、あんたは。
Yeah. Come to think of it, that's actually what you started as. The distance from the Earth to the Moon was 238,900 miles. If it truly was identical to the actual moon, then this monster indeed lived up to its eerie reputation. At a distance that vast, there would have been no need to hide. It could flaunt its true form for all to see. But if it had to hide its true form, that meant it was vulnerable. The monster's camouflage implied that it sat within the reach of human hands. Yep, it's an illusion. It's much closer.
こっちの最大射程はよくて600ってところだけど。
At best, my max range is 650 yards or so. Why are they using yards? It's so weird. You think did they translate it from meters? They had to. I don't know why they did. Jeez. At this point, it was time to give it all she had. Drawing on the energy surging through the park, she extended her firing arm. Oh yeah, charging your laser. Blue firework launched into the air. Looking up at her hair dancing in the wind above, Aoko reached out her right hand as if to catch the night sky. A mage's own body made for the perfect catalyst. And for a female mage, the hair she had grown out over many years made for a particularly valuable and powerful source of fuel. To use it, all she had to do was apply her will. She locked the fingers on both her hands together and shouted.
三層展開全術式連結起動
Deploy third layer! All formulae, commence linked activation! Yes! She hurled forth a clear challenge to bind the moon to herself. The mist began to whirl about in a vortex. Man, if she used it on an actual full moon, they would be screwed. Because there would be no way for anyone to tell. The monster high above bore its fangs at the sight of the blue spell that appeared in midair.
見抜かれたですって
Did she figure it out? By the time Alice noticed the change, the hostility between Aoko and Snark was palpable.
そうなら青子の勝ちよすぐに戻りなさい
Oh wow, she's just straight up calling it back. Oh, but he's not gonna. Snark isn't gonna go back because he's too arrogant, isn't he? Ooh, yep. Very well. This round goes to Aoko. Return immediately.
確かに雨雲を消したのはヒントの上げすぎだけどそれぐらいは多めに見てスナーク
Perhaps removing the rain clouds was too obvious a hint. But I suppose one can't win them. Flat Snark? The fog continued to thicken with no sign of abating. The moon that floated in the night sky could not pardon such an insolent mage. Yep, ouch, you didn't have enough gym badges. Yes, yes. As if the Lord of the Night would bow to sound such impudence. There was no staying its wrath at a challenge so flagrant. Snark! Seriously, your body is like as thin as paper. You cannot stand this. Seriously, you will die. Snark? Why aren't you answering me, Snark? Oh, bloody hell. The robin swooped in to give its report, but Alice waved it away. Her gaze was fixed on the transforming golden moon. Her calls of restraint did not reach it. This fairy tale monster was beholden to nobody, and would have no qualms unleashing his vast might upon its puny prey. The core of a magic bullet howled. The magic circus within her body spun. Aoko fed the magical energy, scorching her nerves with an imaginary flame. She was linked to the formula inscribed on the ground. The spell was ready and executed the same as it always was, but its output was beyond reckoning. With this much firepower, even this mundane process would invite injury upon its caster. It was enough to burn up the nerves that were acting as the barrel. Right. I can do this! The imaginary heat had reached a terrifying temperature. Aoko trembled at this endless feeling, but have to grin and bear it, lest their efforts come to naught. Aoko could no longer move. When she had learned the Snark's true form from Soujirou, she gave up on any superiority a movable turret offered, instead opting to become a stationary cannon. That was the only way she could reach it. It was impossible to hunt the Snark unless she anchored her crest at its location and angle. At the same time, this action revealed that she was out of options. Once the fuse was lit, she would have no choice but to fight them to the bitter end. Aoko took a deep breath. This was the way she wanted it. Her preparations were complete. She'd be able to deliver this maelstrom of magical energy directly to the moon like a rocket payload. The third mid-air layer served as a cannon's muzzle in sight. It would fire the magical energy once it really reached criticality, and allowed Aoko to adjust the angle of fire. I knew it. Fog. The moon became warped within her scope. As Aoko charged her magical energy, the ploy displayed its golden form as if to mock her.
Come, worship the heavens, powerless scion of an innocent bloodline.
For there it was, a point among the otherworldly sky, a mystical visage obfuscated by jade mists and azure clouds, called the greatest treasure known to the world of magecraft, a rarity more valuable than an entire kingdom. Crown Phantasm. Oh shit! Oh, it looks super cool. It's that's it. That's Flat Snark. It was Sans all along. Yes. Set apart from the first, the world's greatest fabrication. Sounds kind of like Noble Phantasm. Not yet. Just need a little more time. Her instincts screamed at her to delay no further. The fairytale monster was the greatest of its kind, and was about to expose its true form. Its open hostility made it clear that it was ready to counterattack. I can't move. Not with an incantation this long. If it attacks before me, it's all over. I think Soujirou is probably gonna run to help her. She had to shoot it down first. Magical energy was at 80%. The formula was operating normally. All that was left to do was pull the trigger, but the calm voice inside of her had asked if that was really okay. She had one shot at this, and there was no going back. It was a battle of precision with no room for miscalculations. Even a tenth of a second of hesitation would tip the scales. Was she ready for the pain? Was she ready to deal with the fallout if she missed? Could she really even take down the moon with such a tiny bullet in the first place?
いい。とりあえず当たった後で考える。
Enough. Shoot first, ask questions later! Her eyes, fixed upon the moon, were filled with determination. She knew that the moment she fired, the intense recoil would overwhelm her entire body. Still, she shouted.
上等。出し惜しみはなし。目いっぱいぶん回すわ。
Bring it on! I'm gonna send this thing spinning with all I've got! With every ounce of spirit she possessed, she fired her ultra-long-range projectile into the sky! Ah, yeah! The third layer embraced the magic bullet fired from the surface of the earth. The crest and extension of Aoko's self. Unleashed light to pierce the moon. However, it's not gonna wake. Oh shit! Put an asteroid in her way. That's cheating. An enormous blue canopy pulverized the meme. It returned to the ether. That 3,000-degree flame to nothing as it came in contact with the bullet. The recoil of the Grand Magecraft literally boiled her blood. Her body couldn't handle it. Ah, fuck theories. Her heart stopped. Her brain went numb from the pain and impact. Her nerves petrified from end to end. Where the magic crest revived them all by force. Is she gonna be able to do another shot?
氷で防がれた。
Ice? It was blocked by ice? Even though her vision had gone white, she could still see it. Swallowing the blood in her mouth, Aoko looked up with a scowl. There it was, an enormous shield of ice and a sneering, deformed skull.
撃つのが遅すぎた。それとも早すぎた。盾を作られる前に撃てばよかった。それとも正面からじゃ無謀すぎた。
Is she gonna do Giga Drill Breaker? Let's see. Did I fire too late? Did I fire too early? Should I have shot it before it made that shield? Was it too reckless to shoot it head on?
どっちでもいい。
Who cares?
一層、二層、再起動。
Oh, she's reloading. First layer, second layer, reactivate, hurry! Oh, wow. There was no time to think or hesitate. The magical energy throughout the park began to gather. Aoko knelt, across from the tyrannical face of the moon. She intuited that the ice had yet to fully form. Flat Snark still hadn't reached its full strength. Which was exactly why.
まずい、まずい、まずい、まずい。
Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it! By accelerating the spell, Aoko damaged her own body. The burn of licking the formula to Snark caused intense pain. All she could do was grit her teeth and endure it. How long is she gonna be out for after this? My god. All because...
あの氷、私のマックスよりもっと上だ。
Oh no! That ice is tougher than my best shot! Aoko had gotten a read on their relative strength. Even if the volume of magical energy was identical, Snark's form, its mystic scale, was in a different league. Aoko could charge her energy to her absolute limit, and that would barely make a dent in the ice wall. Shit. What is she gonna do? Is it possible... Can she drill it? Or is she gonna go around it? Meanwhile, there was nothing she could do to prevent her own annihilation, if the Snark gathered as much energy as it could.
ならその前に。
Then, before that happens! She loaded her next shot. She issued her orders to the floating third layer. Ignoring the toll in her body, she began to accelerate the first layer formula. The role of her right-hand single layer was to absorb and store surrounding magical energy. The thick bog that drifted through the park was an ancient ether to speed up by Flat Snark's own body, but Aoko could pour it into her formula. Aoko's body, which had been integrated with the formula, took an amount of magical energy that far surpassed its maximum capacity. It seethed in agony. Ah, she's overloading! Or rather, it trembled into light. For a mage, magical energy was a propellant to reach the realm of mystics. She's getting like some serious training out of this, isn't she? Damn. The expansion of eternal time. The liquefaction of the self. The release from the physical. They're all what one might call a near-death experience. She's gonna get a power boost. On the precipice of what lay beyond, Aoko stood firm and faced reality. Still, reality had come to break her will. The gap between them was plain to any observer. The gun barrel named Aoko had not a chance to chip away at that lump of ice. So? She accelerated the spell further. The skull grinned. That ice was no shield. It was a hammer to crush mages who did not know their place. The moon laughed as it prepared to crush not just Aoko, but the boy atop the roller coaster as well as the park in its entirety. So what if it hurts? Her circuits were on the verge of going critical. Her body had been charged with a scorching power supply from her fingertips to her eyeballs. She would see the bullet fired. She would arrange the Maytrap formula as quickly as her nerve transmission speed would allow. A single attack was not enough. There was no way to shoot it from its flank. Which meant there was only one solution. Giga Drill Breaker! Giga Drill Breaker! Let's go. Yes! Reconnecting to alternating current! The third layer began to transform. It switched from direct to alternating current. The spell's supposed strong point was the ability to adjust its trajectory mid-flight, but right now all she wanted was numbers. Connecting. Octagram! Oh, yes! All layers max rotation! Yes! Yes! Do it, do it, do it, do it! Do it! A blue sun shined down upon the amusement park. Beams of light at maximum output streaked forth to pierce the golden moon. And gonna do it. Take this! Holding down the trigger, she continued to fire, taking in energy ad infinitum. Ah, yes! Giga Drill Breaker, let's go! Blue flame shot forth at critical level, but the ice would neither melt nor mar. No amount of sheer heat could make a dent in something formed from such a colossal amount of magical energy. The toll on her circuit sent them berserk, and blood began to run free. Come on, row! Fight the power! The spin should have been more than enough. It's just too strong. The battle had become a tussle over the magical energy that filled the park. From the very beginning, this had been Snark's home turf. Snark had control over at least 80% of the space, while Aoko had 20 at best. No, I can't stop it! No! The castle of ice ascended as if to call the match. All she could do was delay the inevitable. She knew that she had been backed to a wall, and right now the only thing she could do was to keep firing. Then again, perhaps not. There was another option. She converted all her magical energy into a defense. There was a tiny chance, no, not tiny, a great possibility in fact that she could save just her.
ここの魔力を使い切ればあの氷だって。
Shut up and do it already! Not even that ice has a chance against all the magical energy here! Cling to that broken hope. Aoko, continue to rotate your circuits. Time seemed to stop at the magical energy overdose. A second of intense pain lasted an eternity. Then, amidst everything... Huh? What's happening? Oh, a challenger approaches. Something approached one step at a time. Oh shit. Something from among the park's shadows. Something. What? Oh shit. Oh shit, let me guess. This boss is gonna take out in one shot. In like one effortless shot. Oh no. She felt goosebumps from head to toe. The issue was no longer the ice overhead. In the midst of the stillness, the Red Death drew closer, step by ominous step. Why here? Why now? Her circuits in her mind began to rupture out of terror. The composition of her formula and soul began to rip apart. There it was, just behind her. Its footsteps came to a halt. It reached around and cupped her face in its blood-stained hands. Greetings. Is it the fucking robot? She wanted to scream out with all her might. This is it. Nothing matters. I couldn't care less. Soujirou, help! Can you punch it or something? Run or don't run. It doesn't matter. Quit hiding and reveal yourself! Use whatever you can and show no mercy! That was it. She had one final card to play. Once. A miracle had been gifted her, almost as a joke. It made the ice look like child's play. That was what the Red Death had come to kill. Using it would spell ruin. Not using it would mean death by ice. Then, why hesitate? There were no conditions on its use. There was no price to pay for its power. She simply would cease to be herself. Oh, damn. That was all. Humans love to exist in areas of gray. Dozens of electrical impulses disconnect the brain in the brain every minute. Nothing lasts forever. Not even oneself. It was not anything particularly worthy of disdain. It was not even anything remarkably worthy of being called taboo. Shut up! What escaped her lips now was rage. Bewilderment from the red silhouette. The girl let out an inaudible scream. Could true magic really be your savior? What an opportunistic load of bull. True magic. After all, to begin with. I have no clue how to do that shit yet! Indeed, Aoko was still in the dark when it came to that magic, whatever it was. Uh-oh. Oh no.
Well, we're boned.
I'm such a moron! She woke from a momentary hallucination. The very illusion her breaking soul had shown her. Whining had the opposite effect on her. Her pride was now ablaze.
So you're gonna run from this responsibility too?
Soujirou was right. Her opponent had put her in check, but she had done the same to it. It was clear why she was losing, so now all she needed was a counterplan. well within her abilities. No matter the odds, she was one not to give up without giving it one last shot.
そうだ
That's right.
放り出すのはやれることを全部やってから
Giving up only comes after you've tried absolutely everything. Her numb fingers clenched into a tight fist. She was betting against the house, an unreasonable gamble that should have made her question her sanity. If her first step was off by an inch, her body would be instantly vaporized. But she knew a boy who never fled. She knew of a steadfast courage that could shine its light, no matter how small, through any desperate situation. Hello, Raimi, welcome to the stream. There was more than just herself to be concerned about. If that ice fell, it would meant the destruction of the park in its entirety. Everything he had achieved, everything he had risked and dared happily put his life on the line for, would be all for naught. Oh, she's doing it to protect him! Oh!
本
Really?
当それじゃあ何のために意地を張ったかわからない
What possessed him to be so bullheaded? Ah, trying again. Damn. She's got a lot of magical energy in the tank. Whoa. Oh, she's doing double cannon. Determination and confidence surged through her like electricity. She was in no mood to be crushed by a giant sheet of ice. If she was gonna lose, she'd rather do so with the grandest firework possible. Aoko was a sore loser. At this point, she would rather burn herself to cinders than let it decide her end.
チェンジチェンジチェンジ
Disconnect! Expand area! Reconnect! She grunted in pain. Energy raged through her body. Her circuits were on the verge of disintegration. Inscribed upon her body, her magic crest was magecraft given physical form. It did not, however, stop with simply skin and flesh. It burrowed to the very marrow of her bones. A playful smile graced her lips. Her sense of reason had been turned upside down by the pain. That was only natural.
なんだやればできるじゃない私
I can do this! She had to praise her own body for holding out so long while she pushed it beyond its limits. Skullface noticed the abnormality. It finally recognized the challenge for its dominance over the space. It laughed at the conceit it faced. Never did it expect a magician to challenge the great Flat Snark, lord of vessels over a millennium, and in such an age of decline. She tried to catch her breath. She braced herself with the coming pain. She was going to smash that ice to pieces! Both had access to the same amount of magical energy. One of them was greatly outmatched, but
出力装置に差があった魔力の吸引方針の規模で負けているのなら
ooh, there was a difference in our output. If I'm losing the scale of energy absorption and the size of the barrel, then
単純な話私をでかくするだけでいい
solution is simple. All I need to do is make the formula bigger, and me with it!
チェンジツアープラン
Reconnect bullet configuration! Oh, wow. Let's see. The feedback go beyond anything she'd experienced to date. Quite simply, her decision went beyond recklessness. She expanded both formulae to maximum size. The first layer would transform to a giant vortex, swallowing up the mist. Second layer would process it from one end and pump it into her at the barrel. Well-oiled machine right here. I was naive,
撃ち落とすなんて半端もいいとこ
thinking I could do something cute like shoot it down.
この場合跡形もなく打ち砕くった
What I need to do is blast it to hell! primeval power answered the spellcaster's conviction. It formed the pattern of a writhing serpent. Voiceless magical power flew a banner of revolution! Now
look upon the earth, O venerable one. See now this pioneer, the first among trailblazers.
she embodies a species that knows no fear, that renders not all manner of mystic and tradition.
貸し借りはここまでよ。嘘つきブーチャム。
I don't even know what that word means. I've never heard that word before. I'm done borrowing from you, you lying boojum!
お望み通り、年をつけて返してあげる。
If you really want it, I'm more than happy to give it all back! For the newest magician commands the principles of consumption and extinction! It's from the Flat Snark story? I see, it's a nonsense word. I see. Row! Do the impossible, see the invisible. Row, fight the power! An average bullet of light melted through the castle of ice. The barrel held fast. Her control of magical energy was divine. 100,000 miles of veins, equal to 2.5 times the circumference of the Earth, hungrily drank the magical energy. The subsequent magical strike hurtled straight up at the moon. Oh, it's moving around.
No!
Death rose from the moon's surface. A cry of indignant terror echoed through the abandoned park. Reality was burned in the eyes of this creature of fantasy. To Aoko, its veins struggled with the taste of victory. Victory despite her absolute reckless use of magical energy. The energy scales have been tipped to their breaking point, but nevertheless in her favor.
ツアープラン。
Bullet configuration?
ブラックライトスターボー。
Total eclipse converge!
一気にぶち抜け。
Tear it a new one! Oh, yes! Shatter, 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 shatter! The skyscraper is starting to atomize dust. The island, its unattained ability extolled, had swallowed whole the despair of its many challengers. Long it had proudly eluded mankind's intellect. Yet now, azure mist bemoaned its demise! In the sky, the icy canopy crumbled. The snark-hunting bullet jumped over the moon. Its throes of death sounded like the roaring sea, reverberating across this fairy tale land. Yeah! The battle was over. The thick fog dissipated, and the shattered ice melted away before it hit the ground. A lethal bullet unseated the Night King from his throne, affording him no time to grieve his loss. The oil of the moon, the untouched Flat Snark, the dreamscape that had begun with its resurrection, ended with its demise, drawing a close to the nightmare. That was awesome! She truly is the shonen protagonist. Oh, man. Oh, man. I kinda guess I went overboard. Flat on her back, Aoko looked up at the night sky. She lay there perfectly still, not able to move a single finger. When she tried, her whole body screamed out in agony. She was completely empty of magical energy, and her magic crest had come to a halt. Now, she ignored whatever that thing was, that red thing. She estimated that it would likely require a whole day to recover all her bodily functions. Sadly, all she could really do in that moment was take a breath. At least her chest was swelling with pride. She had gone toe-to-toe with a fairy tale monster and had emerged victorious. The battlefield conditions had favored her. It was true. But there was no denying that Aoko had come a long way in the last 6 months.
それはそれとして、アリスには謝っとかないと。
Luck or not, I owe Alice an apology.
プロイって壊したらそれっきりだものね。
Yep, yeah. These summons are the kind that if they die, they're gone. Once a ploy's been broken, it's gone forever. But I think Alice will be okay with it because she told Flat Snark to retreat, and he said, "Nah, man, nah, I got this." Flat Snark would never again return to this world. It was an insanely rare item, so valuable that it would have been impossible to price it for auction at the association in London. Aoko had sent Alice's priceless treasure to oblivion. Needless to say, things had gotten more than a little out of hand.
まあ、でも。
Still. They had both agreed to the fight, so Alice probably would not complain. What about Dumpty, though? Is Dumpty still around? Uh-oh. Because Dumpty is a whole separate ploy, isn't he? Even if she was furious, she would never be so undignified as to show it. I guess she could call it back. The second Aoko relaxed, her fatigue finally caught up with her. She did everything in her power to fight off the overwhelming drowsiness. Now, she was able to do this because Flat Snark's passive basically gave her infinite MP. So this is not something she could normally do, because she would have run out of MP a lot sooner. But the fact that she was capable of it is the insane thing. Aside from a few minor internal injuries, her body was miraculously unscathed. She felt like she could probably stand up and dust herself off after a bit of rest. Yep, shonen protagonist. Oh, awesome. The golden moon continued to burn in the night sky.
正体は油だものね。そりゃいつまでも燃え。
Well, you are oil after all. You could probably burn for... Ako's bleary eyes went wide in astonishment. She was still unable to lift a finger.
スナークを見つけたベイカーも最後は一緒に消えるんだっけ?
Oh, right. The baker who found the snark disappeared along with it. Uh-oh. One last fuck you? She sighed in resignation. Aoko accepted that her final stand left her with only 10 seconds before she was burned to ash too. Elsewhere, just a short moment prior, buffeted by strong winds atop the roller coaster. Alright, now Soujirou's turn. Soujirou gravely peered down at the ground.
Mumu?
Huh?
All he could muster was a single murmur. He could see Aoko on top of some drawing on the ground.
なんだあれ。いくらなんでも頑丈すぎないか。
What in the world is that thing made of?
In the distance, there was something familiar in the direction of the ruined house of mirrors. Are you fucking kidding me? Is it the stupid fucking robot? Soujirou's job to throw Aoko's hair from a great height was complete. While not the most impressive of tasks, it was absolutely a matter of life or death. And to top it all off, just thinking about how he was going to get back down to the ground was making him dizzy. Oh, Humpty is still there. Uh-oh. He experienced more than enough trouble for one day.
いや、でも、あれ
Wait, but
He was flustered as he stood atop the swaying bridge. And now we're seeing it from his perspective. A skull suddenly appeared in the sky above. On the ground, he could see a circling blue light with Aoko in the middle of it. And one more thing. Oh, is it the red thing? Yeah. From an angle that only Soujirou could see, a shadow stalked Aoko while she challenged the moon. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god. It was shaped like a person missing the lower half of its body. Oh my god, is Soujirou gonna take this out? The disembodied torso slowly clawed its way to Aoko. They were still over 600 feet apart. Unfortunately for Aoko, she completely failed to notice it approaching from behind.
遠くて見えないけど、あれは
it's too far away to make out, but isn't that?
He was sure of what it was now. There was only one thing in the park that would chase Aoko and not him. The puppet.
いや、でも、ほら、あるいは、ひょっとして、ただの偶然ではないだろうか。
But I mean, maybe it's a coincidence, right?
His mind ran in circles. It was a perfectly reasonable reaction. Now, how is he going to get down from this? Any grip on reality he might have had left was long lost when Aoko started firing beams of light at the monstrous moon. Aoko's merciless fire buffeted the roller coaster like a storm. Just standing on it was almost enough for him to be thrown off and killed. At any rate, Soujirou couldn't fathom the situation. Should he head back to the entrance of the roller coaster and warn Aoko about the incoming threat? I don't think she could. Yeah. No, you gotta take care of it, dude. No, there was no way he could make it in time. And to make matters worse, there was a hoard of bread down there waiting for him. Well, that's true. But is Flat Snark even using his power to control those things now? Because I think Flat Snark right now is fully concentrated on Aoko, using all his power to fight her. And it may very well have been the case that Aoko was already aware of the puppet and would take it out as soon as it got closer. If she was, Soujirou was sure he would only be in the way.
But
It did not seem like there was anything he could do to help. And beyond that, Aoko was not the only one in danger. He was in quite a predicament himself.
you can't go home again.
The road home was never as safe as one thought. It was as true here as it had been in the mountains. The path he was on was no exception. As risky as the ascent had been, it would be even more dangerous to go back down. This was no time to be worrying about others. His shaking legs reminded him that only 200 feet separated him from death.
大丈夫。それは分かっている。けど、
It'll be fine. I know that. Just
His head was pounding. This was reckless and stupid. Having been raised in the mountains, he was more sensitive to danger than anyone raised in the city. And just thinking about what he was about to do made his throat seize up. There was only one thing he could say for sure.
青崎のことだ。あれに絶対気づいていない。
Alzaki has no idea that thing is coming for her!
Oh shit! With a sobbing shout, Soujirou started making his way down the 200-foot frame of the roller coaster. Oh my god! His race toward death accelerated. Jesus Christ! He never meant to sped up, but the downward slope propelled him forward. Yeah, exactly. Don't trip!
Here I go!
It was too late for regrets. Now that he was running, he had no choice but to go even faster. And time was not on his side. He would never make it in time if he took the long way down. Never mind the breadmen crowding the exit of the roller coaster. With the exits blocked, The outcome will be the same whether he went slowly or quickly. There was no reason to rush to his death as desperately as he did. Except for love.
だから
So what?
So what if it was futile? Soujirou cleared the doubts from his mind. He turned his attention to what he could do. Keep his footing and try to arrive at the bottom as quickly as he could.
間違えるな。今大事なのは間に合うとか助けられるとかそういう結果の話じゃなくて。
Focus. Forget whether you'll be in there in time to save her. The most important thing is...
He had no idea what impulses were driving his stiff limbs. He just focused on the moment, pushing past the fear and the cold logic. At his core, he was the kind of person to deal with problems head on. There'll be time to think about the consequences later. Uh-oh. But hesitation was not his only obstacle.
こんな時に
Not now!
The worst possible hindrance appeared at a time when not focusing on the track would mean certain death.
Ah, shit fucker.
Soujirou sensed something wrong with the egg that had been so studiously observing out of one eye. Queen Alice. Yeah, it says Queen Alice, glass moon. Right? I think. Soujirou sensed something wrong with the egg he'd been studiously observing out of one eye. Something had changed. And at the very moment he realized it,
よそ見してる場合じゃない。
I can't be looking at this side right now!
uh-oh. Soujirou stumbled and instinctively caught himself. It was a miracle he had not fallen. Yes, seriously. Descending a roller coaster on foot was an act of suicide. The egg stayed right by his side. So close it was like it would collide with him. Though he was trying not to look at it. He could not help but feel uneasy that the door-like decoration in the center was gradually opening. Uh-oh.
ああもうちくしょう。なんだってこんな。
Damn it! Why now?
He cursed his rotten situation. And yet he refused to slow down. Oh, now time for the male shonen yells that are gonna destroy my throat. He ran even faster, glaring at the egg on his side.
本当おかしい。
This is crazy!
こんな状況なのになんで
What's wrong with me?
Soujirou was baffled to find out that he was smiling. Perhaps that's something to do with Aoko's charm. Ah! Oh, her actual charm, but still. Soujirou could not tell one way or the other. He could still feel Aoko's fingers on his skin. Damn, I think that's doing more. The trust and expectation she placed in him was etched into his heart. What spurred him on was something entirely different. This all stemmed from a much deeper problem. Something inside him that he could not understand at the time, but eventually come to terms with one day, awakening his own power?
よし距離は今なら2メートル弱。
Alright, less than 5 feet left!
He carefully judged the distance as he ran down the track of death. But the distance between what? That went without saying. It was the distance between himself and the one thing that could save his life. He told himself he was gonna do it over and over like a mantra. Soujirou could not believe himself. What he was about to do was incredibly stupid. But what is stupid when smart is not an option?
本当なんでそこまでやるんだ。
I'm really gonna do this! This is insane!
Is he gonna jump? I missed it all. He laughed at how pointless such self-reflection was now. Temporary confusion, a psychological thrill ride, both the latest soul bear. Uh-oh. What really mattered in life? The answer to that question was simple. His primitive values did not crave success or reward. All he wanted was
よし
This is it!
to live the way he wanted. It wasn't an obligation to the people around him. His desire to live the way he was and his alone.
行こう。
Here we go!
If the egg had been equipped with a vocal function, he would have gasped in shock at what happened next. Hello, Uptis, and welcome to the stream. The boy, who had only tried to escape up until this point, suddenly shifted his weight. Is he gonna attack the egg? He pointed his feet outward instead of inward. Or could try to grab onto it. On the edge of one rail, he crouched ever so slightly and maintained his momentum, and gazed at the floating egg.
やれる。距離的に問題はない。
Yeah, is he gonna try to either attack or grab onto the egg?
Close enough. I can do this!
Yup, he's jumping. Oh my god! He soared through the night sky! It was a flight that lasted a mere 1.5 seconds. A cordless bungee jump from 100 feet above ground. His destination? Oh my god, is he gonna go inside the egg? The only thing that would stop his fall, the giant flying egg. Is he gonna go inside the door of it? Oh wow, it's bigger than I thought. Yeah! He shrieked, this time out of elation, as he desperately clung to the egg's surface. Just earlier, the cold-blooded witch had told them that without fear, the top of the building would feel no different than a balance beam. This from the same witch that would have been left speechless had she witnessed this spectacle. It was one thing to be fearless, and another to be reckless.
Aoko, Aozaki, did you see what I did? Did you see what I did?
Huh? I didn't see anything. What did you do?
Oh, never mind.
What the boy did next would give her a headache in the days to come.
頼むぞ、頼む。
I'm counting on you, egg!
Clinging to the egg, he shifted his gaze away from it. He felt the rapid descent. Soujirou, focusing his half-shut eyes on the ground, leaped off the egg once they were a few feet from the ground, then turned back to it, careful to reestablish eye contact. He's using the egg as a fucking Mario platform. Oh my god. Something so unbelievable, though to Soujirou, the elevator, the department store, and the mysterious floating egg were both just moving objects, virtually indistinguishable from one another.
よし、割れてない。食べ物を粗末にするのは良くないと思う。
Well, it looks like it's about to break.
Alright, it didn't break! It's always a shame when food goes to waste!
He landed near the plaza. Uh-oh, it's gonna release his retaliation beam here. The shortcut that almost cost him his life had paid off. Soujirou took off running the second his feet touched the ground. The puppet after Aoko was the only thing on his mind. He paid no mind to the moonlight in the sky. Uh-oh! Nor did the egg, which was just furious about being used, and seconds away from self-destructing and blasting fragments all over the place. Uh-oh. Oh, so it's a bomb. Okay.
Aozaki!
Nanu?
Ah! Aoka's dumbfounded expression spurred Soujirou on. Oh shit. The curse was complete. The empty egg began to sing its warning to let them know there was no escape. Boom! Uh-oh. Oh shit! Shrapnel for the egg exploded through the air. The ode to Queen Alice that Alice had engraved to Jumpy quickly robbed him of his senses.
それはそれとして。
Okay. Was that it?
He snapped back to the task at hand and ran to Aoko, still lying on the ground. It didn't really affect him at all. Huh. Still lying on the ground. His legs moved as they had a mind of their own. Though we couldn't have stopped them anyway, since he'd no longer feel them. So we can't feel his nerves anymore?
お前、驚くほどしつこいぞ。
Don't you puppets ever give up!
Is he gonna like swap the puppet for Aoko so the beam hits the puppet instead? Yep. Nice. The scrambled murder case. Piles of rubble became flowers of light blooming from the earth. How did he just tank that thing? The final curtain drew closed. and the defeated left the battleground. Had Alice Quanchi seen it happen, she would have been beside herself. The two had escaped by a hair's breadth. The only person in a position to witness that rare mutual destruction was the girl who had been saved from it. Hello, Samuel, welcome to the stream. The boy who had never stopped running paid it no mind.
死ぬかと思った。
Oh, I thought you were a goner.
Safety of the girl in his arms meant infinitely more to him than the miraculous way in which he saved her. What a night! The moon did not wait for dawn to set. The ornamental texture of the fairy tale kingdom faded away. All of the illusions returned to the way they were before. From the ostentatious chords reverberating through the streets, to the puppets welcoming their guests. Peace and quiet reigned once more. Over a forgotten kingdom, never to be awakened again. Out flickered the embers of a late-night dream. Even the electric lamps that illuminated the park. Together they watched it disappear. Soujirou lay on the ground, desperately gasping for air like a fish out of water. The curse of the exploding egg had numbed his pain, and he was understandably exhausted after all he had experienced. He looked like he could be blown away by the lightest of breezes. While Aoko was also exhausted, she was still in better shape. Focused on taking deep, even breaths. She was already working to recover her strength.
あのさ。
So, she addressed Soujirou indifferently as her gaze remained on the amusement park. The abruptness of it was a bit theatrical in nature. She wanted to look at him as he spoke, but her pride was simply too great.
あなた、なんかすごいことしなかった？
You did something kind of amazing, didn't you? The moment she'd accepted death seemed like an eternity. She was beside herself in shock at how indifferent she had been as the shards rained down from the moon. But a reassuring voice had snapped her back to reality. Why did he do it? What was he thinking? What moronic things had he done to pull it off? She had no answers for these questions, lying on the ground as she was. All she knew was that he had more than made up for his failure in the House of Mirrors and then some, in those fateful final moments. She addressed him, hoping to find answers, but found herself unable to probe any further. To dig any deeper would feel like defeat, which was why it was so unlike her to ask him in the first place. Sorry, I'm just excited. I'm sorry for the mouse jiggling around. Lucky for her, Soujirou had neither the capacity nor sensitivity to understand how egocentric she was being.
すごいって、それは青崎の。
Oh my god! I get it.
Amazing. Amazing? You were pretty amazing, Ozaki.
He started between labored breaths. It was taking him so much effort just to breathe that he could not address her properly. First date. She watched him out of the corner of her eye. Thinking back on it, the boy had performed the same role each time. Each and every time he did what he could in spite of his fecklessness. Okay, surely in your gigantic ass mansion, you have a room for him to stay. And like, so he doesn't have to pay rent and doesn't have to work 2 jobs. Come on. Come on. Each and every time, he did what he could in spite of his fecklessness. It was far more admirable than her nearly suicidal tactics, even if she did defeat her opponent. He did not even recognize how extraordinary his last act of courage was.
提案。あいつをやっつけるのに協力したら、俺のことは見逃してくれる？
Here's an idea. If I help you kill that thing, will you let me go?
At the very least, he had the courage to keep trying whatever he could. A spectator might have viewed him as a supporting actor. His actions were not exactly memorable. But the lead actress he supported did not see it that way. He did save her life, more than once. Well,
認めたくないし、口になんてもっとしたくないけど。
I don't really want to admit it myself, much less say it out loud, but such inspired actions were wasted in his supporting role. This guy really pulled off the impossible. It was so amazing that she wanted to shout it as loudly as she possibly could for all the world to hear. Ah!
青崎
Hazaki?
ほんと、人畜無害多すぎると侮れないわ。
God, he's so innocent it makes me want to barf. All Aoko could do was sigh. How could she not? Even she was forced to admit that the way he'd snatched her from the jaws of death was dashing.
ま、評価甘めだけど。
I must be getting soft. Truth be told, he was a lunatic for doing what he did. She steadied her breathing and composed herself. While she was in bad shape, she still had her pride as a mage to consider. That was why she felt a need to maintain an air of dignity.
しずきくん、見逃すのは今日だけって話だったけど、あれ、なしでいいわ。
Suzuki, I originally meant to let you off the hook for today only, but I'm willing to let the whole thing go.
とりあえず、命は助けてあげるから。
For the time being, I decided to let you live. She hastily extended her right hand. It was either to shake his or to help him up. However, Soujirou did not take her hand but instead stood up on his own. This night, despite the sheer insanity that he had just experienced, his face has not once looked as incredulous as it did now.
何よそのリアクションは。
What? Something wrong? She stammered, worried that she had deeply embarrassed herself. Soujirou's gaze was fixed upon Aoko. A problem had dawned on Aoko. Though she normally hated being stared at, this time, she did not mind. Rather, she was enjoying the warmth in his eyes, and felt like it was something she could almost come to appreciate.
Don't you get it? This isn't about just friendship. I didn't mean he only likes you either. Believe me when I say that Sonoji really...
Oh. The conversation came rushing back. It was a memory better left forgotten.
いかん、それは違う。
No, not happening! Pushing Tobimara's words out of her mind, Aoko turned to Soujirou. She will be the soonest of Dares.
別だから
Don't get any ideas!
私はあんたのこととかもっとどうでもいいんだから
I don't care about you in the least, baka! Puzzled, Soujirou tilted his head.
さっき嫌いだって言われたけど
You already told me how much you dislike me.
He responded matter-of-factly to her sudden declaration. She certainly had pointed that out. And to his face, no less. It had a mere figure of speech that was it was a mere figure of speech that he was not meant to take literally. But now was not the time to belabor the point.
そうじゃなくてあなたが私に惚れてても期待しないでって言ってるの
I'm not talking about that! I'm just saying, you shouldn't get your hopes up, no matter how far you've fallen for me! Yet belabor she did anyway. Aoko blushed slightly, realizing how inane she was being. She wondered how she'd end up in this position. And yet she knew that she had to get this off her chest. All there was left was to politely wait for his response.
I can't date you.
Oh, she said that. I can't date you. Such heartbreakingly painful words were too much for the simple boy to hear. His shoulders slumped as the world was coming to an end, or so Aoko had imagined. On the contrary, Soujirou was sitting there in deep thought.
俺が青崎に惚れてるって
Did you just say, I'm in love with you?
At least he knows what the concept is. Like, characters like this usually don't even know what it even means. Soujirou murmured the words as if they were a magic spell. She shot right back with the affirmative. After a moment of deep contemplation, the boy turned to the expectant girl and said,
なんで
Why do you think that?
He had to be joking, but he was not. He was completely serious. He liked her, but he didn't like her. Of course, the vice president had jumped to conclusions. This boy had no interest in romance. He probably didn't even know what that was. So. She was incredibly embarrassed by how confused Soujirou still appeared to be. Her rosy complexion spread throughout her entire body.
もう一度聞くけどなんで
I'll ask again, but why do you think that?
そりゃこっちが聞きたいわよ
That's what I want to know!
飛び丸の大バカ野郎
You freaking moron, Tommy Morrow! Just like that, she had lost her cool and given into an unjustifiable outburst. Oh my god! It was time to seal off the area and destroy all evidence. Aoko's embarrassment evolved into sheer panic, and her grudge against Toby Mara suddenly manifested as criminal assault. No! She lashed out with a punch that could have taken down a bird mid-flight. More specifically, it was a brutal right hook. Aoko blinked. Her blow had connected with something solid, snapping her out of her reverie. Oh god, she accidentally knocked him out, I bet. Oh god. And that's how he's gonna get into her house. Her temper had lashed out at the completely defenseless Soujirou. It had been a splendid blow with all her weight behind it, knocking him out cold. I bet Alice is gonna her first reaction is gonna be, oh, so you decide to kill him after all. Soujirou groaned, crumbling to the ground. Her punch finished the job that the curse had started. Ignore for the discomfort on his face. He appeared to be almost sleeping. Aoko convinced herself that he was napping, not concussed.
ま、いっか 予定通りになったものね。
Well, whatever. It was always gonna end like this anyway. The tension in her shoulders eased away as she looked down at Soujirou. A ton had gotten in her way over the course of the day, but the day was saved for now. With nobody left to butt heads, she felt exhaustion finally overtake her.
うわ、歩いて帰れるかな、私。
How the heck am I gonna walk home like this? Her fatigue was enough to make her complain out loud. When she thought about it, she realized this was the first time she had used up all her magical energy, and the first time she had participated in a battle of this scale without any prior preparation. Though in truth,
私一人じゃどっちも相打ちだったっけ。
it would have ended in mutual destruction if I'd been alone. She felt somewhat proud as she whispered those words. Normally it was something that she would beat herself up over, but instead she simply shrugged her shoulders with a bitter smile. After all, it was thanks to the person sleeping by her side.
ね、聞こえてないわよね。
Hey, you can't hear me, can you? As if the night had swallowed her voice before it reached him, she received no response. Confident, she continued in an even quieter voice.
その、ありがとう。十分に助けてもらったわ。
So, thank you. You really got me out of a jam there. Of course there was no response from Soujirou, and she was not expecting one. Saying it for the record was enough. Aoko watched Soujirou sleep for a while, and then pulled something out of her pocket. It was the oh, yep, she's gonna use the frickin' Pokeball. Yep. It was the palm-sized glass bottle her roommate had given her, which she opened with a pop. Chekhov's Pokeball.
でも、それとこれとは別だから。
But none of this matters. Leaving behind words colder than a winter chill at night, she called out his name. She barely sensed the bottle moving. As the silhouette of the fallen boy appeared to blur, she got the feeling that the weight of the bottle had increased slightly.
うわ、どうなってんだろうこれ。
Whoa. That's kind of weird. What appeared to be a human form could clearly be seen inside the glass. Actually, in the newest Pokemon game, they actually resolved that paradox. You actually can capture fainted Pokemon in Legend ZA, which is insane. And they made a lot of changes. Alice Quanji's tools were mystics that confounded even the most knowledgeable of mages. As soon as Aoko tried to analyze them with logic or reason, she was already out of her depth. Knowing this all too well, Aoko closed the bottle and watched the boy disappear as if by some magic trick.
まったく、こんなの手品じゃなくて魔法だって。
Jeez, this new stage trick, it's actual magic, she muttered as she looked into the magical bottle. Its weight has not changed significantly, and she had no idea how it worked. But the one thing she did know was that there was a human being inside of it. Its light weight was almost unnerving. Closer to empty air than a human being. It was about as heavy as one would expect if they bottled a summer breeze. Though that did fit her image of Soujirou perfectly.
アリスの言う通り。
It's just like Alice said. She muttered to no one in particular as she recalled the past.
ほんと、私らしくない。
This really isn't like me. Aoko wore a bittersweet smile. Her usual moodiness was gone. It was a dangerous world out there, It was good to have someone to keep her on her toes. With a wry chuckle, she flicked the magical bottle with her finger and set off walking. She could hear a bell in the distance, signaling the end of the play. An ephemeral dream gave way to reality. In the grand scheme of things, it had been but an instant. I think Alice went home, she said. As the actors exited stage left, the last of the lights silently flickered out. And so the long-dead amusement park played its final role as a memory for a boy and a girl. That was sweet! Farewell, Kitsy Land. Like a dog. Oh, yes! Now comes the romantic comedy part of the story, where he's living with her in the mansion. Oh, I hate to end the stream early, but this is literally too perfect a stopping point. Yeah, that whole ass book was just one... That giant ass chapter was just one little book right here. I jeez. Oh my god, that was too perfect of a stopping point, you guys. Oh, I had a lovely time. I hope you guys did too. Seriously. Oh my god. That was incredible! I loved it. I loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. That was so cool. Oh my god. Oh my god, I can't wait. I can't wait for more. This thing is crazy good. Yeah, seriously. Thank God of the freaking bounded field or whatever, so nobody could see that. Oh my god. Yep. So, next time, we will continue where, in all likelihood, Soujirou is going to begin living at the mansion with them. And we haven't even begun to scratch the surface of his secrets. So, until next time. Oh my god, that was so good! That was so good! Seriously. Oh my god. Some incredible action. Until next time, I will say... So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, good night. You're all the sweetest of hearts. See ya.